Hey guys, this is Anarchist coming to you from the dark side of the moon on Wham Radio, and I'm here to talk to you about some in the wake of the coronavirus. You know, we got all this panic. It's a presidential election year, of course. You know, we always get a pandemic on every election year, and now we also have the Census 2020. And I just got my letter in the mail. Did you get yours? So, March 12, 2020. Dear resident, and just let you know, you get an envelope with that letter too, right? And on the envelope, it says, your response is required by law. Just try to keep that in mind while you're reading the letter that comes with it. Your response is required by law. It's required. This is mandatory. Okay, so March 12th, 2020. Dear resident, this is your invitation to respond. So don't mind the letter or the envelope that came in the mail that says that your response is required by the law. This is now an invitation to respond. Already, what is it? They failed in like 0 seconds. If anybody knows how to read, and if anybody has any common sense, they literally failed in like 20, not even, like 0 seconds in writing this piece of paper here. So let's just move on. This is your invitation to respond to the 2020 census. We need your help to count everyone in the United States by providing basic information about all adults, children, and babies living or staying at this address. Basically, they want a profile on everybody. They want to know exactly how many sheep occupy my building, which, you know, only has about 4 studio units. Not very many people can live here. And of course, in my opinion, it's none of their business anyway. But let's see what reasoning they give us in order to convince me, the everyday Joe, or Joan, right? Why I have to, my response is required by law. All right. Results from the 2020 census will be used to direct billions of dollars in federal funds to local communities for school, roads, and other public services. Oh, all of the stuff that people and government claim they use the money for. What about my roads? I don't ever hear arguments for public schools because nobody gives a fuck about education anymore. But I always hear about the roads and the firefighters and the police. Yeah, the police. Okay, guys? All right. So they're going to basically measure the level of theft they must commit to you that for the next 10 years. Because this is how often we're supposed to take the census, right? So they have to figure out in the next 10 years how much money they need to steal from us to line their pockets. And, you know, here and there, give us a nice paved road and more shit public schools and, quote unquote, trained observing professional police officers. All right, next reason they give us. Help your community prepare to meet transportation and emergency readiness needs. Okay. Coronavirus. They stopped transportation. They closed the schools. Obviously, nobody was ready for an emergency. And the government is going to provide that to us for the next 10 years. Think hard, taxpayer. Think hard, little sheep. Slave you, us Americans we are. Anyway, I love this country, just to let you know. I love my country. Do I love my government? Fuck no. But we'll see what happens. And then the third reason, because, you know, all reasons have to come in threes, the way how these assholes work. Determine the number of seats each state in the U.S. House of Representatives and your political representation on all levels of government. And this is where they try to get you with, it's your civil duty. Okay. So determine the number of tyrants that will represent us in government. with our best interest. Not the interests of the corporations, not the interests of the lobbyists, not even the interests of the actual officials who are sitting in these seats, right? These are upstanding, moral citizens that we are voting in. Nothing wrong with these people. They know everything that they're doing. They are super adulting right now. These politicians. They know everything. Our lords and masters that we get a free will choice to vote for. Okay. It was really hard saying all of that without laughing my ass off. Let's see. Oh, now they're also going over to the Census Bureau is using the internet to securely collect your information. Responding online helps us conserve natural resources, save taxpayer money. Because that's what we're really concerned about, is saving money on trees. I mean, I know you got all those little leftist liberals out there. They want to save the planet and stuff. But, get us to do this all online. So they can process data more efficiently and collect it at the same time. A government entity. Let's see. United States Department of Commerce. So they're the ones collecting our information and probably relaying it to other, places. We don't know that. And we're not supposed to know that because they are on a need-to-know basis and we don't need to know. Anyway, if you are unable to complete your 2020 census questionnaire online, we will send you a questionnaire in a few weeks to complete and mail back. So if you don't respond online, which your response is required by law, it says on this envelope, they're going to send you a threat letter in the mail requesting for you to do it again. And you know what? I'm pretty sure on that threat letter that comes in the mail the second time around, because I don't plan on signing this thing. And actually, if anything, I would love to fuck with them and use it and put a whole bunch of fake stuff on it and see what they count that as. I think you guys should say Batman lives at your house or something. Count your plants, count your animals, imaginary friends, all of them. Just count them. See what we get. Because the only real reason I would like to fill it out anyway is to see the kind of questions they would ask. And probably to make another video about it following up this video, making fun of it too. Because, everything is written in doublespeak in this country. And if you don't learn about doublespeak, you're never going to learn to double think. So, let's see. This census is so important that your response is required by law. Oh my God. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, you'd have to look at it, of course, at an anti-status view because, people who are, really patriotic don't even know that they're being coerced into agreeing to these things. But our response, it's so important and valued that it's required by law and your answers are kept completely confidential. Oh, it already says it on this threat letter. If you do not respond, we will need to send an actual Census Bureau interviewer to your home and collect your answers in person. Don't threaten me with a good time, guys. This is literally the Christopher Walken bit all over again on Saturday Night Live. It's my wife's a bobcat. So, if you need help completing your 2020 census questionnaire, please call toll-free. Sorry, I really messed that up. Because it says toll-free. And we all, nothing from the government comes free. Even their quote unquote toll free lines. And they're using your money to pay for it. Or our money. I work too. At 1-844-330-2020. Oh, yeah, because it's got to say the 2020 and everything's got to match. All the talismans are in place on this paper. They are very convincing. Look. Sincerely, Stephen D. Dillingham, Director. Director of the Census 2020 Bureau. Director of what? It just says director. Alrighty. So, I think us as Americans, being the freedom-loving, rebellious type we are, knowing that your response is required by law is a joke. Your invitation to respond to the Census Bureau is a joke. And if you guys want to really make a difference and worry about the direct billions of dollars in federal funds to local communities for schools, roads, and other public services, you guys better learn how to work in the private markets. Because that's the only way we'll ever truly fund these things that we really want. You want to fund the roads? You want to fund the schools? You want to fund public services? Pay for them yourself. Work with your own community. Actually get to know your neighbors and actually deal with your community stuff as a community. Don't be sending the stupid representatives up there with their false hope and their fake dialectics of garbage and ill-gotten promises. Like, they're never going to do anything they say they're going to do, ever. And all that it's always going to require comes at the throats of the taxpayer, of us, the people. All right. It says, help your community prepare to meet transportation and emergency readiness needs. We could do that ourselves, easily, if we actually cared about it. But obviously nobody cared about it up until something, big has to happen. We could have done this as a community ourselves through private markets, easily funded with our own dollars, and not giving taxpayer money to other people that say they're going to do something with it when they never do. Okay, determine the number of seats in each state that the U.S. House of Representatives and your political representation on all levels of government. Are you kidding me? Do you really think that they're going to take any of this theft money that they take from us for the next 10 years is going to pay for any of the things that these politicians promise? When we all know that they give themselves pay raises, they get to work whenever the heck they want, and they can still make a salary, whereas, us, we got to work for hourly. Most of us have to work for hourly because most companies are forced to pay hourly with their garbage minimum wage laws, which we are better than minimum wage. We are so much better than minimum wage. We need $0 minimum wage. That's how much better we really are. And we really can be. Because you can easily pay for these things yourself. And if you don't think you can, then you're not thinking outside the box. And you're letting these false prophets, these false misleaders, false misleader, oh, that's even an oxymoron right there. But they are misleaders. And they don't care about us. And I highly recommend, if you get your 2020 census, letter in the mail, and you get your census ID code. That's hilarious. When you get your census ID code, I implore you, I invite you to stand on your own 2 feet and you give them any other answer but the truth. Because that is how they talk to us. They give us any other answer but the truth. We are private citizens. They don't need to know crap about us. And this 2020 census is nothing more than a data mining effort to control the masses and know where all the demographics are and know how to control us for the next 10 years and how to steal from us for the next 10 years. And if you don't think that that's the case, I have not seen one civilization that has not had a head and a ruling class that did not live off the money of the people. I mean, unless you're talking about primitivism and stuff, which I can see all the anarcho-primitivists are gonna hop in on this, but that's for another topic, because that doesn't still requires, those don't meet certain standards of modern day civilization. But anyway, this is Anarchist coming to you from the dark side of the moon. This was just a reading of one of these official threat letters from the government, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for your love and support. Check out my Facebook page at Love Anarchist at Wham Radio on Facebook, and also check out my co-producer Marlboro Man. He's also here during the week as well. Usually he's out in the field. Again, have a good night, guys, and I will be speaking to you soon.